The Law of Messiah. We finish up our series on Galatians with Galatians chapter 6. Galatians 6, verse 1 and 2. Brethren, if a man is overtaken in any trespass, you who are spiritual restore such a one in a spirit of gentleness, considering yourself, lest you also be tempted. Bear one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Messiah. Galatians 6 starts out by saying that if anyone has fallen into this false gospel, but now has received correction and repented of it, then make sure you are to restore them back into the assembly with a spirit of gentleness. Bear one another's burdens. By doing so, you are fulfilling the law of Messiah, and that is love. The law of Messiah is no different from the law of Moses. It's the same law. Yeshua did not bring an entirely new law to replace the law of Yah. There are variances with each rabbi on how they interpret the law, and Yeshua was and is our rabbi, our perfect interpreter and teacher of the law. He gives us the fullest meaning and fullest application of the law. So the law according to Yeshua is the law of Messiah. Yeshua's ultimate interpretation of Torah is love. Love Yahweh and love your neighbor. Hence, being gentle, kind, and considerate with your brother who was in error is the law according to Yeshua, the law of Messiah. Galatians 6, verse 7 and 8. Do not be deceived, Elohim is not mocked, for whatever a man sows, that he will also reap. For he who sows to his flesh will of the flesh reap corruption, but he who sows to the Spirit will of the Spirit reap everlasting life. Paul says, do not allow anyone to deceive you into a false gospel, won by works. A works-based gospel rejects the work of Yeshua on the cross for salvation. Anyone who adds or takes away from the true gospel is trying to deceive you. Here, Paul is comparing one who tries to be saved by the flesh versus one who is saved by faith. You sow what you reap. Sow into your works and the flesh for justification, and you'll receive death and corruption. But sow into your faith in Yeshua, and you will see everlasting life. Galatians 6, verse 15. For in Messiah Yeshua neither circumcision nor uncircumcision avails anything, but a new creation. Paul is not doing away with circumcision, but is making the point. What matters for justification is not your circumcision status or your ethnic status, but being a new creation in Messiah by faith. But again, once you have faith, you then obey as a fruit of your justification, the law of circumcision. Remember, Abraham was justified by faith, and later on obeyed the law of circumcision after already being justified by faith. Paul wraps up his letter with a blessing. Galatians 6, verse 16. And as many as walk according to this rule, peace and mercy be upon them, and upon the Israel of Elohim. What does Paul mean by walk according to this rule? The rule is to accept salvation by the work of Messiah Yeshua for your salvation or justification. Walk according to this true gospel given by Paul, and you'll have peace and mercy. In Hebrew, it's shalom v'chesed upon you. For by faith in Yeshua, you are now woven into Israel, into the covenant, in the kingdom of Yah. Lastly, notice, Paul calls us Israel. We are not replacing Israel, but woven into Israel. And this is huge with knowing that today we are to obey Torah, for we are part of Israel. We are officially finished with Galatians. Thank you for following along through each chapter. Galatians 6, verse 18. Brethren, the grace of our Master Yeshua Messiah be with your spirit. Amen. Please comment your thoughts and questions below. Thank you and shalom.